I know you asked me to get that number, and I will get that. I don't have the current usage water number of what's happening there today, and we'll get that for you. Okay? The final thing we wanted to talk about was the increased traffic and the enforcement of the green permits. And I think, Tracy, you pretty much took care of that. And I will make those comments straight back to Michelle tomorrow. It's not printing out with void on it like she said it would, so we'll make sure that she's aware of that before you meet with her. The other question in the last one was about the Nano or Bill Gates toilets. I don't know if you remember that question. So we did look into that. This is a toilet that has been developed. It doesn't use any water. So the answer we got back is the nano-membrane toilet system is not appropriate at this time for commercial application in our parks. The capacity is too low, and if vandalized, the cost to replace it is going to be exorbitant. So these are pretty expensive toilets. They're pretty sophisticated, and unfortunately, we do have quite a lot of vandalism in our parks. So it may be a consideration in remote areas where you have very low use and very low vandalism. So the last point I would make is that our Parks Department has received a grant from the Hawaii Tourism Authority for, I think it's 240 cameras that are going to be going into our parks around the island to try to help reduce vandalism. So this is an effort that I'm not going to speak too much to, but I did hear a presentation on it. But the cost of vandalism in our parks is really high, and to the degree that we can address that, it's going to help us do a lot of other things that maybe we would all enjoy. So thank you. I open that up for questions.
Thank you, Jen. Good question.
Yeah, that's the question. Is it possible for Sherwoods to have a caretaker on site? I'm just a caretaker. I'm just wondering, like, I know it was a practice that we practiced previous years that was really beneficial, why not bring back the practice that was good, that worked? That's my question. Thank you.
I'll take that as a comment to take back to our Parks Department as a recommendation.
Thank you, Jen. One more question.
I'm just a little bit in shock, but not really about having to wait 2 months for the answer about it being on the National Registry, and also having our community go as far as being arrested from events from happening. So part of my comment and also a question to you is, so now what? There are rules and regulations around section 106 that needed to be followed. Where does the project go from here? What is going to happen now that the city has finally acknowledged, which it should have months and months ago, but acknowledging now what? Where do we stand on this project?
So the project is currently on hold, and we know that it went, the burial council met regarding the project. That's going up to SHPE now for review there. So SHPE is the State Historic Preservation Group at the ONR. So once we hear from SHPE about how this may or may not impact the National Registry, then another reevaluation will be made on the project.
Sorry, I thought that, and maybe I'm confusing the process, please clarify, help me understand. Because it's on the National Registry, are you saying that it's optional or SHPE still has to make a decision as to whether or not section 106 is followed? Is that what they're trying to do right now?
You're kind of getting into an area I don't want to delve into because I'm not. And I'm going to probably say it wrong.
The numbers are here for those answers, so I'm asking because I know many of them are sitting here for those answers.
What I will say is though that the city is required to follow the law. And that's what the city is required to do. And the city is going to follow the law.
Whose law?
So that's the statement that I'm making.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
But if the city is going to follow the law, how are they going to they already did what they did. I still want to know what happened to all that sand and whatnot that they carted off.
So we answered
Were
that a
they
couple
able
of,
to trace those and check those? Is there anything in there?
so we answered that a couple of meetings ago, and that the grubbing that took place, the sand was insignificant, was the answer that we got back. There really wasn't a whole lot of sand.
I don't think so. I think there's a
So
lot.
this is,
Well, we want to respect that that's the answer provided to you, Jim, so thank you for providing that
Can
answer.
you find out, sir?
so what I can share with you also
As much as you can.
is that
Remind them about this place being on the National Registry, and that we would like them to cease everything. Stop. Not hold. Stop. Completely. Stop. And then go back to them and try to fix it up. Try to bring it back to the way that it used to be.
and that's where we are right now. We're on hold.
Okay. One question.
Comments, last question. I think I'm gonna say something else, but just to clarify what Kupuna Lemokiana said, the answer that you provided previously was an answer before you folks confirmed that it was indeed what our community was saying it was. And so I think that's still a valid question that needs an answer, a newer answer. But my other thing was, I understand that the burial council gave you folks recommendations also. Are you folks taking those recommendations into consideration as well?
So I'm not privy to the conversations that happened there. So I can't honestly.
Could that be something that we find out though? If
Yes.
there are,
Absolutely.
thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much. One more question?
Hi, another question. I just wanted to ask, how much was the expenditure for all the police officers that was there last month for the arrest of the main that was on the front line?
I'll get you that answer.
Thank you. Any questions from the community? Oh, I'm sorry. One more question from the board. Joel?
I'm just curious, when was the determination that it was on the registry made? And was that before the arrest? Because we had asked that everything was paused until that was determined, and then action happened, and then now are saying, yeah, it is on the registry. It's just- It seems backwards, right? And I know you're a reasonable guy, and I know that you're just your boss's representative, but that seems like something that they should answer, right?
So the answer that we have is that although it's on the National Registry, it would not have made any difference regarding the project going forward in the manner it did. And that now is being confirmed through the burial council in Sherwoods. So we're on pause to make sure that we're going to confirm that that is the correct legal opinion. But that was the wisdom of our folks at DEC, and we had Director Cronin here, and they said that this would not have mattered. There are many projects that are built around areas and in areas that are on the National Registry. There's a process you have to follow to do that.
Okay, so you guys just found out, so you guys have obviously been following the process the whole way. Sarcasm. Like, if you just found out, you haven't been following the process the entire way, right? There's a special process for that, for building on a piece of registry.
So what I'm doing tonight is confirming that.
Yeah. Okay, so you have followed the process the entire way time.
That's what I've been told.
Thank you. Any clarification?
In Kalamaiman, this issue has separated some in our community. I wouldn't say torn, but it has separated some. If our kupuna, was they upset? If our kupuna, who was sitting 12, 13, 15 years ago, knew that it was on a national registry, if they knew that that was the first landing of our people as Kanaka, would they have indeed felt the same to have furthered along a project if they knew the importance of that said area? And so for me, as a community member, an advocate, and this is my homeland, Waimanalo, I am upset at the fact that you folks didn't do your due diligence to find out about what the specialties was of that said area. And considering all the different things that the military has done to that area, it is now time for it to heal. And I, like Rada said, backwards, completely backwards. And that is so not my study and not funny.
So I'd like to comment that I have no way of knowing what the community wanted 12 years ago. I have no way of knowing what was in their minds and their hearts. Other than what we've heard.
Just the process and that what you represent.
Okay, and I'm not taking any of it personally. I'm not. I just need to say that we don't know. I mean, people in this room may have been there. They have expressed those opinions. They expressed the desire to do something for this community. That was brought back into the political process. It was pursued. It was planned. It was funded. I mean, it came from the community, and then the community has changed its perspective. And here we are.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.